Mauricio Pochettino orders massive sell of Chelsea superstars as he is looking at restructuring the club and buying yet a new football players. Very many football players are definitely going to be leaving. Just stay around to see if your football player is definitely going to be remaining at the club Chelsea. Hello everyone and thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, and make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've definitely got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related right about now at the Chelsea chapter with me, your host Abu KALS, as we talk sport and as we talk everything that you definitely need to know about your club Chelsea. And you definitely know that we're heading into the summer transfer window, and I just recently, a few days ago I should say, Mauricio Pochettino was officially announced as the head coach at Chelsea. You'll remember that he's got quite a big history, and good history actually, success story, and he's a very wonderful one who's played quite well, coached quite well recently. And when he reached Chelsea, he looked at the entire Chelsea squad and he said most football players are definitely going to be going, and right about now we're going to be seeing which football players are going to be leaving the club, as Chelsea has already put down a few football players that are going to be leaving the club because of him, because he's not so happy with the amount of football players that are definitely at the club Chelsea. One of the football players, I think, let's start with Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is definitely has not been performing quite well to the expectation. I mean, he's not had that impact. He's not helped the club to a better place, and Mauricio Pochettino hasn't been very happy with it. And we remember that Kai Havertz is one of the football players that is going to be leaving the club Chelsea, and we will remember that Kai Havertz will be heading to Real Madrid, and for some time he's been linked to Real Madrid, but Mauricio Pochettino is looking at getting a replacement for him. You will remember that the Chelsea attacker has been linked with Los Blancos, and now it is reported that it could be Karim Benzema's replacement. There's no way you can compare Karim Benzema with Kai Havertz, but Karim Benzema is aging up, so they need another football player. So Fabrizio Romano claims Carlo Ancelotti is a big fan of the Blues and is willing to discuss permanent deal for Kai Havertz, but also Mauricio Pochettino is not very interested in his services, so it lies in there. So Kai Havertz is not in the plans of Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino has different plans with him. He thinks that he should go, get a bit of money when he leaves, and he can get another forward, which is quite reasonable. So that's one of the football players. Let's see if your football player is definitely going to be staying at the club, and let's see if Mauricio Pochettino has intentions to keep your football player. So it will be remembered also that some of the other football player that is in is not in the plans of Mason Mount. Sorry, the plans of I've already told you Mason Mount. The plans of Mauricio Pochettino is Mason Mount. However, Mason Mount, the fact that he wants to go, he wants a move. Mauricio Pochettino would have liked to give him a chance to play, but Mauricio Pochettino is not willing to ask a football player to stay, and yet they do not want to. You will not get the best of results of the football player. So Manchester United is interested in this gentleman. It will be remembered that Manchester United and Liverpool plus Newcastle United are all of them interested in Mason Mount. So we could definitely be seeing Mason Mount moving away in the fact that he's in his final, he's going to enter his final contract. That's why he's looking for a move, and the club is also saying they could definitely be selling him. So also, Joao Felix is going to be leaving the club, as it is said that he could definitely end up at Newcastle United. By the way, Newcastle could be a big problem the coming season. So Joao Felix reportedly to be offered to Newcastle after his loan spell at Chelsea is going to be coming to an end. I think Mauricio Pochettino would have loved to play him. They say it has already been revealed that Felix will not be making his move to the Blues in a permanent deal this summer amid the arrival of Mauricio Pochettino. Just a day after the campaign's conclusion, Pochettino was announced as the West London side's new manager, and it took little time to get started, with the Argentine already deciding he doesn't want to keep Felix for next season. Ooh. La la la. Oh, I'll think. Oh, come on, Mauricio Pochettino. Joe Felix is a good football player. Why would you not sign him? I would take him on any day. I would take Joao Felix. So Atletico Madrid president Enrique Cerezo revealed that we have been informed that Pochettino does not count with Joao Felix for Chelsea. He'll return here. We'll see. That's why I said in that was, oh, Pochettino has let me down. No way. No way Mauricio Pochettino is saying goodbye to Joao Felix. I mean, Joao Felix is a top-class football player. Every club wants Joao Felix. But Mauricio Pochettino, surprise. It's a big surprise, you know. Mauricio Pochettino is saying, no way, I don't need you. You're not going to fit in my mode of play. Now, according to the Daily Mail, Newcastle will be offered the chance to sign Felix on loan this summer. The Magpies are out to add players with more European experience to the squad as they make their long-awaited return to Champions League football. Yeah, but I don't think that was a wise idea from Mauricio Pochettino, but Joao Felix is leaving Chelsea. So we've talked about Kai Havertz leaving Chelsea, which I 100% agree should. Mason Mount, I sort of agree. And then Mauricio Pochettino has said Joao Felix should leave. For some reason, I'm not so comfortable with that. I would have loved him to stay at the club, Chelsea. I would definitely have loved for him to stay at the club, Chelsea. Then also, Inter Milan are also pushing to sign Chelsea defender Trevor Chalobah this summer. Mauricio Pochettino, what has he said? So Chalobah could be one of the 5 homegrown blue players to leave the club during the overhaul of their squad, you know. And according to the Evening Standard, Inter Milan are stepping up their effort to sign the 23-year-old. New manager Mauricio Pochettino arrives at Stamford Bridge, and it looks like he's not very interested in him. He's not so keen about him. And Chelsea are reportedly valuing Chalobah at £25 million, with Inter Milan said to be willing to match the price to bring England centre-back to Italy, which is okay. I would sort of understand that. So don't expect Chalobah to be in the Premier League. It might be in the Premier League, but in another club, not under Mauricio Pochettino. So, with all those football players who are set to leave, we also have yet another one, Hakim Ziyech. So Ziyech is also another one who definitely is not going to be surviving, as Mauricio Pochettino is not willing to keep him. But PSG are set to sign Real Madrid's Marco Asensio on a free transfer, with his contract at Los Blancos running out at the end of this season. And this move will likely spell the end of Ziyech's chances of joining the French champions due to their variety of options in wide positions, but still he's heavily linked. The Moroccan is set to join PSG in January, was set actually to join PSG in January before his move broke down due to errors with documentation on deadline day. And now they're trying to go back and see where they didn't get things right, as he looks set to be one of the many players leaving Stamford Bridge during the transfer window. At the Blues overhaul their squad, as the Blues are looking at making sure they get a small squad. Mauricio Pochettino likes smaller squads. He's not a fan of very big squads. So he's another football player that is definitely going to be leaving. Then Mason Mount. As I told you before, Mason Mount is definitely leaving the club Chelsea, as the wages £80,000 per week is what is being paid. No way comparison to other football players. So I think he's not very happy about it, and since he wants to leave, Mauricio Pochettino is saying it's okay, you can definitely leave. We've got no problem with that. Then we can definitely see we've got football players. Those are the main players that are linked to an exit who could be leaving. And this time it's not like, oh, this football player could be leaving, this one could be remaining. It's most likely that all these football players are going to leave because FFP rules are catching up with Chelsea. And also Mauricio Pochettino does not want to play with does not want to manage some football players there, because he doesn't think that they will do a great job. And it will be remembered that Chelsea target Rafael Leao has signed a new long-term contract at AC Milan, and that is a big blow. So Rafael Leao has been subject of interest all over Europe, with Chelsea and Arsenal both linked to the impressive Portuguese winger. So the Blues had previously held talks with Leao of a move to the Premier League, but hopes of a move are now over after a fresh contract was triggered. Not even triggered, it was agreed. He has collected 24 goals involvements in 34 appearances in Serie A this season, after being instrumental in AC Milan's title win last campaign. And he has now been rewarded with a new deal until June 2028, which includes a hefty release clause of 175 million euros. Quite big. Massive. So that's a big blow to the club Chelsea. So let's see how definitely that will go, but it's not going to be any easy, as you already know. Those are the football players, and we could be seeing even more football players leaving, as Pochettino is saying he definitely wants a very small, very limited, very small squad. Otherwise, thank you for being part of the the Chelsea chapter, and make it a point, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've just got to bring to you as long as it is Chelsea related, right? Abaye at the Chelsea chapter. With me, your host, Abu KALS, as I tell thank you and goodbye for now.